Good morning, one and all. The management of Vijay Mantesh Krupa Poshit SR VASTRAD Arts Science and Vijay Shakrapa BELLIHAL Commerce College Hungund, the management of the college, principal, IQSE director, and my dear friend Gulgand. I thank all of you and congratulate for organizing this 1 week effective online faculty development program with the title Effective Teaching Strategies COVID-19. It's a wonderful initiative taken by a small college in a small village which has taken the challenge of changing the scenario of academics, which has taken a U-turn after the pandemic COVID-19, which has threatened the human life after November or December of 2019. It was a shock to human life that COVID-19 would one day bring the human beings to such a halt that everything on earth was suddenly uh, had come to a stop. Mankind or human being who was trying to dominate the nature and who was trying to say that he is the supreme or commander of the nature suddenly realized that he is nothing and he is also one amongst all the other animals surviving on the nature on the earth. This pandemic COVID-19, after the advent in Wuhan city of China, has become such a threat to human life across the globe that everything has come to a standstill. Man, who was so restless, who thought that he has to race ahead of time, suddenly realized that he can survive even staying in the home for 40 days, 50 days without going outside. In these 40 to 50 days of COVID-19 threat, human beings realized that things are not as they have conceived or as they have wrongly conceived. The life can be led even without modern gadgets, without flying for months together, without meeting your friends. Everything has taken a new dimension and a new definition after COVID 19. The most affected ones are the economy of the world and particularly of every country, and the academics of each country or each child. Education has come to a standstill, and all the schools, colleges, universities have shut down because nothing is more important than the human life. This we took a lot of years to realize that life is more important than all the luxuries of the life. So the luxuries of the life have failed and the life itself has become most important. Pandemic COVID-19 taught us that it is very important that we stay alive, we stay healthy, and we stay safe. Only then we can think of progress or anything else on the earth. With this brief introduction, I once again congratulate this college for organizing 1 week program, online faculty development program on the effective teaching strategies. It is my privilege that I am invited as a keynote speaker. Had this 1 week on a faculty development program had taken a year back, the situation would have been entirely different. I wouldn't have been in front of the camera, sitting in my home and delivering this lecture. I would have been in Hungund with all other my co-resource persons who would be sitting with me, listening each other, understanding each other, and trying to understand what are the effective teaching strategies then. But now the challenge is entirely different. The effective teaching strategies today are entirely different. The most important one is that I did not go to Hungund, and nobody needs to go to Hungund and listen to what I am speaking. We are all sitting in our homes and happily listening to what is happening in this 1 week faculty development program. There are other friends of my whom I personally know, like my classmate Dr. Basavaraj Donurmat, chairperson of Central University of Gulbarga, Dr. S.B. Biradar from Ilkal, and all other my friends who are there in this week-long program who will be speaking. I convey my best wishes to them. And let me now go to what exactly these effective teaching strategies are as on today. The first challenge is we have to understand that we have been trained and we have been oriented to teach 40 to 60 students sitting in a classroom. And that was very easy for us. But today, teaching sitting in your home and teaching 40 odd students sitting in their home and teaching them effectively is really a challenge. It is not so easy teaching the student who is not in front of you. Neither it is so easy learning for the student who is sitting so far away, because communication is to be a communion between two persons which can be not only heard and seen but also being understood at the same time. The video which I am preparing may be telecasted 1 week after this preparation, and the student may listen to this after a week. So the effectiveness of what I am teaching and what he is trying to learn probably will not be having that impact. But then the times have changed, the scenario is different. We cannot risk our lives, we cannot risk the life of the student, calling him to the classroom and teach him in the classroom. So we have to evolve a new method of teaching and learning, which is very, very important. Earlier, teaching and learning was only between the teacher and the student in the classroom, but now it is not so. The teacher has to be more cautious in teaching because he is teaching the student who is sitting in his home where probably his parents are also observing, or he may not be having the time when he has to exactly sit and listen to the class. But then these modern gadgets like Zoom app, all apps on the internet available have made things easy. At the same time, we have to keep in the mind that though the things have made easy, it is not accessible to everyone in this country. If we look at the newspapers and news telecast every day, we find that thousands of migrants are moving on the road with their children without water and food. But education is everybody's right in this country. So the first challenge is how are we going to educate those children who are there on the street without food and water? Talking this brings goosebumps in the stomach, and it is very, very threatening and saddening because most of the population of this country with this modern ways of teaching will be denied of education. But let me not ponder on this for long because probably I am talking today to the students who are grown up, who know what life is, who have understood what the threat is, and they can cope up to understand the challenges of new ways of learning and teaching. Classroom management has drastically changed. Classroom is literally no classroom. It is all virtual classroom now. A student is sitting in his house very comfortably in a cozy manner. He need not be just sitting and listening to a class. He can be happily having his food also. He can be lying down on a sofa and listen to the class. But this is about the people who have got the luxury. But there are some students who need to run and climb the tree to get the signals and then listen to the teacher who is teaching there. So the classroom, the idea of classroom has changed from a beautiful four-walled room to any place on the earth. That has become the definition of classroom. So now classrooms have literally changed. Classrooms are not the classrooms which we had the privilege of learning. The use of technology in teaching is tremendously changing. Technology is becoming so improved that we sometimes fail to understand how to use this technology. We need to train ourselves. Only when we train ourselves and when we feel that we are effective enough now to go to the video and record it and send it across to the students, it takes some time. When this is the condition of a teacher to understand the technology, we need to consider and rethink what will be happening to the poor students in and around Hungund from where this 1 week program is conducted. It is not an easy thing to connect every student because India is a very poor country. Here, getting 2 square meals itself is a challenge. Having a mobile phone with Android and having internet and time of that particular time is a luxury, and we don't get it every day for every student. So technology, though it is a boon for the particular class, it is a bane to the poor one. The poor one will be totally denied of education. So we need to be very, very considerate. We need to be very slow. We need to take care of every child and every student. Only when we reach to every student with these technologies, we can literally think of educating online to the students of this country. It, though I understand that this is the need of an hour and this is the only way when we can keep the students or the children engaged in academics, we need to be very, very slow. We need not jump to the conclusion and we need not consider that completing a syllabus or thrusting everything, omitting everything on the video and then sending it to the student and we wash our hands. No, it is not like that. We have to understand that education is learning a thing. It is not just a teaching. It is very important that every student should learn. To learn, there are so many things. He should have access to this technology, and then he can be one of the students who can sit in the home and learn. Though you may feel that I am talking in a very pessimistic manner, I am not. I am very positive and I am very happy that we can teach the children anywhere, anytime, anywhere they are sitting. But my concern is about the poor students because education is everyone's right, as I have told earlier also. Every student has to be brought in this stream of education. Every student should be made provisions that where he can get access to these things, these technologies, and then he should be educated. Methods of teaching conventionally were very different. Question after teaching for 40 odd minutes, every teacher would spare some time for question and answers or to clarify the doubts of the students. But now, with the advent of this technology, probably that remains unanswered. And a teacher also will not understand if he has reached the student in a very powerful manner or has he uh, done justice in in conveying the message which he wants to convey. The student will also be at loss because when he is listening to a teacher in the class, he may he may come out with a very beautiful doubt which might even enlighten the teachers. But that chance gets vanished in this kind of technology, this kind of teaching. So this change is going to be very tremendous jolt on both the teaching and learning activity. It is going to take academics to a new level of teaching. Though it is one of the best ways of teaching, it needs time, it needs understanding. We need to be very considerate because so many changes. It is going to be a stress on the teacher also because a teacher is trained to conduct the class at a particular time. We were all trained, we have been trained for 25 odd years of teaching in a different manner. But this COVID 19 has suddenly made us to take a U turn. When we take a U turn, we always feel that we are going back. But this U turn has taken us to a new world of technology where we are going to use technology to reach the students in academics. This is a challenge, and this challenge is going to make us more and more cautious. I personally feel that these teaching skills will also be very challenging. The methods of teaching in YouTube, the methods of teaching in Zoom app, WhatsApp, they are all different. They are not going to be as effective as classroom teaching initially. When lockdown initially began in the month of March, and we were asked to reach our students through different means of technology like WhatsApp, email, Zoom app, we were all threatened. We were all skeptical how to reach the students. But then, with the passing of time, we learned that we can really reach the students through WhatsApp, through email, through conference calls, through Zoom apps. And then, by this time, I feel very comfortable in teaching my students. But this is one case of mine. But then teaching learning is not about one person or a teacher. It is about all 60 present in a virtual classroom. Are students equally comfortable? Are students really understanding? That is the challenge. If all the students also get to learn, yes, they feel that yes, I have learned what my teacher has taught, then really this technology is going to be a boon and it is going to save a lot of time and money. The teaching skills have suddenly changed. Now, the next topic which I would like to talk on few moments is effective communication skills. Communication skills are not just verbal, they are all with gestures and non-verbal also. In this kind of teaching, non-verbal communication skills suddenly start failing. Only verbal will be the most important. When we were small children in the school, we were taught to say namaskara by folding our hands. We were even asked to shake hands with the friends. But then see the state of time. We have come to a time when shaking hand is considered to be a risky thing. Shaking hand can bring diseases to us. So there are so many other gestures. For example, being a teacher of English literature, sometimes we used to enact a drama, a particular scene in the classroom, which was observed by 40 people at a time, and probably they enjoyed that more. But today, we cannot do that. We have to just show them in the form of photos or videos, which is a new challenge to us. Being a teacher for 24 years with that method of teaching, today I may find it very difficult to enact any drama or enact any poetry in front of video and then send it to a student. But then, probably with the going of time, passing of time, I may be expert in that also. I may be able to do that also. But then again, the question is, what about the other end, which is observing me not live, but after a week, after 10 days? So this becomes, I personally feel that this becomes very passive kind of teaching. I say passive because for me, this is a new way of teaching. With the passing of time, I may also learn and I may also start believing that this is a powerful tool. So many of my friends who are going to talk after me may be able to convey that in more powerful way and in a more positive way that yes, these are the things and they are really going to help the students. I am talking about myself with some inhibitions initially because this takes a toll on the students. I am always talking from the point of view of a student who is not trained to have these gadgets as a teaching or learning technology. Behavior is also one of the most important aspects which is going to change with this kind of meaning, this kind of technology. When the students are sitting in a class and a teacher is teaching, his way of teaching may attract every student and he may be attentive. But then with this technological teaching, with this videograph teaching, the student's behavior will change. It is not necessary that he will listen to everything at one stretch. He may feel bored and he may disconnect me after 10 minutes and come back to the 11th minute after 2 days. So this behavioral change may also be the most important impact of his learning or his or her learning. That may also be a threat initially. I'm all talking of these things because in the initial manner, probably my ideas may change after an year when we have really coped up, when we are sure that everyone is ready to use technology for academics. Today, I have got my inhibitions because everyone is not confident of what he is doing. Everyone is not sure. We were very confident in classroom teaching where there was eye to eye contact. This is my case, but this may not be with everyone. Some may be very comfortable with taking this kind of tools of teaching and reaching the students because for some this may be the most comfortable zone. But the most important concern of mine is not just teaching strategies, but the most important point from my point of view is learning strategies, learning from of a student. What strategies we use, how effectively we teach, it all has a beautiful end only if the learner is satisfied. What technology I am using, what method I am using, how polite I am, how rude am I, that doesn't make a difference if the student is not able to understand what I am teaching. This problem was existing even in the classroom teaching. But then in classroom teaching, we suddenly used to understand that this is the problem or this is the drawback which I am having and the students are not attentive. I had a chance of rectifying me then and there or coming back in the next class with improved technologies. But these technological teaching, online teaching, I may not understand if I have reached everyone in a very convenient manner, if everyone is happy with me or my teaching. So This behavioral management is also a challenge. Second one, we have to make some communication skills. We have to change some communication skills. That is, as I earlier told, it was just verbal and non-verbal in the conventional method, but now it is only verbal and they have to depend on technology. New education techniques are also going to be a challenge for us. Understanding the need of a student is the most important one. If we don't understand the uh, drawbacks of the students, of the poor students, inaccessibility of the technology to the poor student, this whole idea of online teaching may not be so effective. It may not reach everyone because if it doesn't reach everyone, whatever technology we use is incomplete and it will not help every student of this country. My concern is that technology is very important part of our life. COVID-19 has taught us that you have to be in the home and you have to work from the home. All other businesses, all other technological industries are thriving and they are happy that they can do their work sitting in the home. But education cannot be considered with those industries where you can sit in the home and feel happy about doing your work to your satisfaction. As a teacher, we sometimes need to go to there. We need we we would love the students to come there to us and clarify their doubts. We probably this technology is not going to help us to do that. The student may not be able to clarify his doubt because of non-availability of a teacher. Today, whatever I am speaking for last 20 minutes, that might have raised hundreds of doubts in the minds of the participants, the students. But how am I going to clarify their doubts? How are they going to connect me to get their doubts clarified? If education is not about clarifying your doubts, then that education is incomplete. We are tech savvy, we are modernized, we have we don't need physical infrastructure for teaching. We can save a lot of money, but is the purpose serving of teaching and learning? Saving money is not the goal of education. Saving time is not the goal of education. The goal of education is to see that everyone gets education, everyone becomes a learned and disciplined citizen of this country. But this technology, which has become a boon in COVID-19, is really a threat to most of the population, which is not having two square meals. What about their education? These things are really disturbing. We can find so many challenges, we can find so many new methods, new ways of reaching them, reaching the students. But if we don't reach every student, then I think we are failing. But with these few words, let me come towards an end of my lecture by saying that COVID-19 has really taught us to understand the nature and to understand that we can rethink and unthink, think, unthink, and rethink, and have a new step towards the progress of mankind. Towards the progress of mankind, the most important factor is education. Now, education itself has come to a standstill position. I say standstill because every college, university, school is locked down. Students are in the home. And the only way we have to teach them as on today is teach them through videos. we find a new challenge that every child in the home is busy only with the mobile in his or her hand for hours together. The parents who never allowed the child to touch the mobile before March 20, to be very precise, today is helpless, and the father or the mother has to give the mobile to his or her child for 3 to 4 hours every day. So everything in the life is changing. The child, which was supposed to be in the playground, go out, play, is denied of those things, and it is now very busy on in learning or attending his classes through mobile apps. These changes are going to put a new problem in the children who are growing up, who are in the age of 5 to 10, precisely because young minds, which are supposed to be free, are with mobile, and that is a threat of education. This is a threat which I am talking again and again because this is what I am witnessing with my children. That my child, which was supposed to go and play outside, is denied of that right. He has to sit with the mobile for hours together and respond to the teachers in the next 3 to 4 hours. So, though we cannot go back or we cannot change the situation, it is better that we accept this challenge. And as a teacher, or all of us as teachers, we have to be considerate. We have to take into account the students who are at the other end and listening to this lecture. What are their difficulties? How we are going to solve their difficulties? This is the first thing. So, with my experience in these 2 months of March, April, and May, 2.5 months, I have witnessed that the most affected community is student community. Though it was a challenging and difficult task for teaching community also, but teaching community was quick enough to cope up this challenge of online teaching. And this online teaching has mushroomed up so many webinars, so many workshops. You find your WhatsApp full of invitations for workshops, webinars, and quiz competitions, what not. But then is it has become a new craze. But then the craze is to satisfy my personal goal. But that is not the idea of having online teaching. Online teaching is incomplete without online learning. So the most important part, what I feel is online learning has to be effective, not online teaching. The day when a teacher feels that yes, online learning has become effective, that would be the highest kind of happiness a teacher will find. My idea of talking for this 30 odd minutes was this on itself. I am not bothered about effective teaching strategies on online. My concern is effective learning method. That is the most important part of education. So, towards the end, I don't know if I have done justice to my address for this 1 week program, which is conducted by Hungund College. I am sure the honorable resource persons who are going to speak after me may not agree with whatever I have spoken because most of the times I was skeptical. But I am not skeptical about teachers who are going to deliver the lectures. My concern is about the students who are going to learn. This is not the thing which I'm going to talking about 1 month or 2 months. This system needs to be evolved. This system needs to be strengthened. This is the concern, and I'm sure that most of the eminent speakers may not agree with me, but heart in heart, I'm sure they will understand what I have tried to convey in this keynote address. I wish you all the best for your lectures. I congratulate once again the college management, IQSC cell, and my friend Gurgond, who extended his warm invitations to me to be the part of this 1 week program. And I'm so thankful to him and his IQSC cell and his college. Towards the end, I would like to say that education is everybody's right, and education should reach everyone, whatever technologies, whatever strategies we use. If education reaches everyone, then whatever strategy, whatever technology we use is useful. With these few words, let me thank once again everyone who has so graciously invited me to be the part of this 1 week program. And I wish this program all the best and bring out some tremendous positive changes in education system and in the academics in the days to come. Thank you one and all.